And speaking of going out and doing what you love, it's a fascinating story how you got into refereeing, because what most people may not know is that you weren't a football player. You didn't come to the game like I did. I actually think that was a great answer. What you told me, because we have that in common. But as an, a hooper, can you tell us how you went from a ball player in basketball to a football referee, and why you would not be a basketball referee?
Yeah, so Jen, I kind of had the same mentality that you had as a player. I mean, I hated the officials. I don't know, I'm putting words in your mouth. I don't know if you hated the officials, but I did. I mean, the basketball officials, every time I would go up and block a shot, it was like, you don't have to blow your whistle. It's clean. You don't have to anticipate, think that I'm going to foul them. It would be something like that, or I'm blocking out cleanly, and they would blow their whistle, and I'd be like, I see you out here. You do not have to blow your whistle. So after college, and I didn't play football. I'd go and think I was a decent fan and knew what football was, but I didn't. But after college playing basketball, I played in a men's church league. They didn't have a women's league around. So I played with my brothers like I always do, pick up games. But hey, we'd been in this church league for 3 years. And this guy comes up to me, and my brother the other day, Jim, we were talking about it. I said, I don't remember who those guys are. And he goes, yeah, I remember who they are, Sarah, and they're twins. And he said, don't you remember why they brought it the vote? And I'm like, no. He said, because we beat them in the championship game and they wouldn't guard you because they didn't think you were going to score. But anyway, that's a whole nother sidebar. But so I've been in this league for 3 years. Apparently we won the championship, and they raised a vote to kick me out because I was a woman. And a guy came up to me at a volleyball game, and he goes, Sarah, I'm sorry about what happened last night. And I was like, what are you talking about? He said, you don't know? And I was like, oh. And he said, they kicked you out of the men's league. And I said, why? And he said, because you're a girl. I said, I've been a girl for 3 years, and I've been in this league for I've been a girl much longer than 3 years, but I've been in this league for 3 years. Are they just now realizing that I'm a female? And so I said, well, was anybody from my team there? And he said, no. And I said, well, I'll protest the vote. We got to have a fair shake. Well, it came down to a tie, and the preacher was the tiebreaker. And I hug his neck to this day. I mean, he's closed one door, open another, right? But he asked one of the brothers, he said, why don't you want her in this league? And he said, well, because when she posts us up or we post her up, it just feels funny. And Jen, sometimes my mouth gets a little ahead of me. And I just said, I'm going to save y'all some heartache here. I looked at that guy and I said, you know what, as fast paced of a game as basketball is, if you get some type of sexual sensation out of this, you don't need to be in this league. And so I kindly was excused out the gym. And I was 23. I was so mad. I was crying. I called my dad and I was like, you got to be kidding me, because I'm a girl. I can't play. They don't have a girls league. What am I going to do? It's the first time in my life I was sportsless. 2 or 3 months after that, I pick up the phone. I called my older brother. What are you doing tonight? I'm going to a football officials meeting. Can girls do that? I'd ask that all the time. And I think he finally thought for the first time in his life, I wouldn't be able to do something. Like, I got kicked out of the league. My brother's finally going to be able to break from me. And I was like, can girls do that? And he just went, I guess so, sis. Be there at 6. So I walk into this meeting, this first meeting, and truth be told, the gentleman at the front, George Nash, who is still, I show up at this meeting with my brother, Lee, and I walk in and George Nash is at the front, and he just stops talking to one of the other officials. And I look at him to break the ice. And I said, is this where you become a football? I'm sure I said referee. And I can't repeat what he said. I almost said it, Jen, but I can't repeat what he said. And then he said, I guess so. I sat in that room and I thought, you have got to be kidding me. Officials really get together and they talk about rules and what ifs. And I loved it. I was so intrigued. And then my competitive juices started flowing again. And I dug deep in the challenge of football. I tried basketball, but it wasn't a challenge. I became more of a coach on the floor than an official. And I would get frustrated. But football, I fell in love with, just the challenge and being around all the guys and just the camaraderie. I just loved it. I can't explain it. It just is what it is.